12 years of war. 12 years since Emperor Shaddam IV was defeated, and Paul Muad'Dib's wild Fremen spread out across the universe, exterminating all that remained of the old Imperial armies, colonizing the planets of the known universe one by one under his rule, sweeping away anything and anyone who resisted. Millions have been defeated. Millions more have been slaughtered. There are no innocents anywhere. And the name of Muad'Dib is no longer a prayer. For many, it is now a curse.
Mercy of Muad'Dib, offer all enemies. The compassion of Muad'Dib.
Commander Faraz, the conversions have begun. Anyone refusing the peace of Muad'Dib will be executed. So it is written.
You who deny the glory of Muad'Dib are condemned to death.
Sir, your son. He's been wounded.
I'm blind. Don't give me to the desert, Father. Please. Don't send me to die.
If history teaches us anything, it is simply this. Every revolution carries within it the seeds of its own destruction, and empires that rise will one day fall. Arrakis. Dune. Once the wasteland of the universe, now an imperial capital. For it is here, and only here, the giant worms still roam, creating spice. Still the greatest treasure in the universe. Still the cause of conspiracy, betrayal, and murder.
Muad'Dib, I don't suppose you feel it's necessary to inform me when you go on these walkabouts?
You'd only try and stop me. Again.
The streets are full of danger, Muad'Dib.
Truth is in the streets still, not in this parade of sycophants who flutter around this palace with their meaningless statistics and empty ritual.
Ritual is the way by which men are enlightened, Muad'Dib.
Tell me, Korba, when was it you reinvented yourself from Fremen Fedaykin to religious fanatic?
The day you defeated Shaddam and his armies, Muad'Dib. The day I saw the future.
The city's filled with adventurers, Muad'Dib. Not to mention agents for the Spacing Guild, the Bene Gesserit, and the former Imperial family.
Surely they conspire to something a little more elegant than assassination on the streets of Arrakeen.
You are vulnerable, Muad'Dib. No matter how powerful you have become, you cannot escape this simple fact.
You're right about one thing still. There is no escape. Janie.
I'm not asleep.
I thought the doctor said you were supposed to rest.
As long as you insist on wandering the city like some off-world pilgrim, I will never be able to rest.
Are you going to lecture me too? While I was walking, I stepped in a puddle. An open pool of water in the street.
Muad'Dib has brought many wonders to Arrakis. The people say.
Muad'Dib spends water like a madman, that's what they say, Cheney. The old Fremen. I hear them. In the streets when I walk. We've become water fat. They resent the wonders I've brought to their desert. They resent me. You know what I'd pay to end these wars? Separate myself from this damnable myth I've become.
What's to stop you? Command it, Muad'Dib. After all, you are the Emperor.
Even if I vanished tomorrow, the revolution would follow my ghost.
This is not a clean place. It's time to return to the desert. We were happy there.
Father.
I'm waiting.
And I'm ready. To know the future is to be trapped by it. But knowing there's a trap is the first step in evading it.
It's the first step along the golden path.
I'm the answer. I'm ready, Father. And I'm ready, Father.
The answer's standing right in front of you. In the golden path.
Is there no other way?
Everywhere we turn, his power confronts us. He's a curse.
He's a messiah. Can't launch a frontal attack on a messiah. Even if you succeed, their martyrdom remains. But he is human, and because he is human, he has his weaknesses.
So, what do you suggest, Princess?
Something subtle, something unexpected.
A ghost, perhaps.
May I introduce our friend, Reverend Mother, Side-Tail of the Talaxu?
Get to the point, Vencesia. I haven't traveled all the way to the edge of the universe to discuss nonsense with a face dancer.
No, you Bene Gesserit are desperate to regain control of Muad'Dib's bloodline, and because you want to break his monopoly on spice.
He who controls the spice controls the universe. As long as Muad'Dib controls Arrakis, we are all at his mercy.
And that's why I intend to destroy that domination and return the Imperial throne to the planet Catane and the Carino family where it rightfully belongs.
Face dancers, sex toys, musicians, technicians. Whatever the need, we have the breed.
Good gods.
Good chemistry is more like it.
Duncan Idaho.
Yes, the Atreides hero, Paul Muad'Dib's most beloved friend and teacher.
But Idaho is dead. Killed by your father's Sardaukar.
Even in defeat, my father's men did not abandon wisdom, Reverend Mother. A few precious pieces of Idaho's ruined flesh, hidden away, saved, awaiting just the right time, the right place.
Perfect duplicate. Perfect Gola.
Perfect gift for a lonely emperor. A time bomb waiting for the trigger to explode.
You intend to kill Muad'Dib?
Exactly.
But that will mean chaos. Spice production will be disrupted.
Learn the lesson my father ignored. It's not who controls the spice, but who has the ability to disrupt the spice who controls the universe.
But what makes you think Muad'Dib will ever accept this? Ghost.
I'm leaving it up to the Spacing Guild.
And what of the trigger? The device to set the time bomb off?
Leave that to me.
Test after test, and still nothing. I'm healthy, strong. No matter what they do, the doctors can't find the reason why I am unable to conceive.
What does Muad'Dib say?
Muad'Dib is afraid. He fears for me if I have another child. I can feel it.
He may be right to fear. Someone has been feeding you a poison. It's the only possibility left.
But the doctors have never found evidence.
They wouldn't. Its traces are subtle, confusing, of the most sophisticated chemistry, beyond their knowledge. Surely from off-world. But there are remedies. The ancient Fremen diet, which might overcome the contraceptive's effects. But it's dangerous. you would be required to eat greater and greater quantities of spice. And if you conceive, it will accelerate your pregnancy. But the question remains, who has been able to feed you the contraceptives for so long?
Be that as it may, this is the question that cannot be delayed any longer. The great houses are still demanding that a constitution be on the agenda at the next convention of the Landsrat.
It's nothing but a ruse, contrived by enemies of House Atreides to conceal far more sinister motives.
Perhaps we could offer the appearance of a constitution. Something ceremonial. It doesn't need to be real. Deceit, after all, is a legitimate tool of statecraft.
Bravo, sister-in-law. I couldn't have said it better.
Yes, perhaps something at the local level. Something impotent, virtually meaningless.
No! Atreides' power must never be marginalized by the chaos of democracy. I'm sure my brother agrees.
Father. I'm waiting. You must decide. It's the first step. You can't wait. You're on the golden path. The answer's standing right in front of you. But you must decide. Alia knows my mind. I forbid a constitution. Order in council this day, etc., etc. Irulan, you taking this down?
Yes, my lord.
We will deliver the formal declaration when the guild ambassador arrives to present his credentials. Then, if there's nothing more.
A guild embassy, Muad'Dib, on Arrakis. The Council of Naives won't like this, Muad'Dib. We remember well how the guild brought those who oppressed us. How they blackmailed us for spice to keep our secrets from our enemies.
Think I've forgotten still?
This decision troubles me, Muad'Dib. There's something reckless about it.
Not reckless. Necessary. You will know my reasons soon enough. Now, I trust you'll convince the Naibs of the wisdom in this.
A guild ambassador, here on Arrakis. Muad'Dib's decision strikes some as mysterious, even dangerous. But Muad'Dib never does anything without reason.
I should spill your water on the sand for what you've done. I know it was you, Irulan.
You're the only one who could have hidden the poison.
Don't lie. You will insult me if you lie.
It is my right to bear the royal heir.
It is your duty to play a role, nothing more.
I am his wife.
You have his name. I am the one he calls wife.
Do you think you are the only woman who truly loves him?
No. But I am the only woman he loves.
I could cuckold him. Dare him to expose me.
Cuckold him all you like. As long as you're discreet. He won't deny you. But no child, Irulan. Ever.
So, what do you think, Tyachnik? Does my little prince have what it takes to lead a Sardaukar army one day?
There are many ways to lead an army, princess. Being a warrior is only one of them. And not necessarily the best.
Prince Viradin, your turn.
Muad'Dib's decision to accept the guild ambassador is causing much unrest on Arrakis.
Good. Once the face dancer is insinuated into Muad'Dib's palace, we shall light the fuse, and the Idaho Gola will do its work.
Mom? Mommy?
What is this?
I'm sorry, Princess.
A future emperor crying?
I don't want to be an emperor. Let someone else do it.
Nonsense. Wipe your tears. Here. Getting all over me now. All right, now go back to your men. Go back. Go. Do you want the men to see you crying? Do you want them to think that you're weak?
I don't care.
Well, I do. So now you will go back. And this time, you will do it properly, won't you?
Commander Farrak, hero of the Naraj campaign. I bring you greetings from your new friends on Seleucia Secundus.
Hurry. The eyes of Muad'Dib are everywhere. These are seats once occupied in siege by Muad'Dib. During the days when he taught us the weirding way.
It is some time since you've seen him.
I think he's forgotten I ever existed.
He's blind. Your son.
At the Battle of Naraj. I wonder if Muad'Dib knows how many have been maimed in his name. I couldn't leave him to the desert. Even I violated the old laws.
The laws of men have gone. The laws of a god have replaced them.
We were a noble people once. We had a proper siege. I owned a crysknife. My own share of spice. I was a rider of worms. And then Muad'Dib came. With his witch mother. And he promised to fulfill Liet's prophecy. And we followed.
You joined his jihad.
Do you know why? I heard there was a thing called a sea. Men came back from Muad'Dib's wars and they said they had seen it.
And did you find your sea?
It healed me of jihad. Now I'm ready to help rid the universe of the cancer that is Muad'Dib.
And that is Othium's daughter.
Lichna. If you bring her to Muad'Dib, he will never refuse to see her.
I was hoping that's what you'd say. Lichna. I will enjoy being called Lichna.
What is the meaning of this?
Helen Gaius Moium of the Bene Gesserit. You have violated Muad'Dib's eternal order never to set foot on Arrakis again.
I am not on Arrakis. I am in free space.
There is no such thing as free space where Muad'Dib rules.
Abase myself before the Emperor.
We welcome you to our court, Edric of the Spacing Guild, and to a new understanding between us.
Please allow me the honor of presenting His Majesty with a small token of our esteem. According to our investigators, this one was killed here on Arrakis. The body recovered after the unfortunate conflict between houses Atreides and Harkonnen. Terrible wounds required many months of regrowth by Talaxu technicians. We acquired him as a gift befitting an emperor.
What is your name, Ola?
They said it was Duncan Idaho.
Idaho is dead. This thing is a horror. Send him away!
And do you enjoy the name?
It stirs up curious feelings.
You don't know who you are?
I know nothing of my past, sire.
How was this one trained?
It amused the Talaxu to train him as a mentat.
I beg you, my lord.
Let me take its water.
Find quarters in the keep for the Gola still. We accept this gift in the spirit with which it was given.
Majesty, there is the matter of Reverend Mother Mohai. She was removed from our Highliner by your agents in violation of our neutrality.
Be careful, Ambassador. To be neutral is to be indifferent. You would do well to disassociate yourself from those who have proven they're not.
As you will learn, Edric, my sister has the pulse of the court. Be advised.
Reverend Mother, I shudder to see you in such circumstances.
I've been in worse.
Did the cards answer all your questions?
Answers only breed more questions.
What is important is how one navigates between the two.
So, you haven't forgotten everything we taught you. Has the Emperor explained why I am to be detained?
He has not confided in me, Reverend Mother. But I hope it will not be too long.
We understand. The Sisterhood is aware of my delay.
They have changed your schedule in light of the situation.
I'll be patient then. You seem to be adapting to life here quite well.
I have made my peace with it.
I hope your training has been a help.
A comfort.
One day, even Muad'Dib will know the good you have done. For us all.
You know how dangerous that was?
11 blades, Paul! 11! Some of the finest swordsmen in the Imperium have never gone up against more than 9.
An experienced swordsman would never have been so reckless.
This is why you invaded my privacy? To disapprove of my recklessness.
Spice gatherers found a body in the desert.
A young woman. A Fremen.
Fremen?
Decapitated. And her hands removed.
So someone's afraid she'll be found before the desert does its work.
I want you to examine the scene the way our mother taught us. You will take the Golden Mentat with you. I assume you can handle him.
I should arrange the Thopter.
Poison!
How can you tell?
The molting of the skin? Clearly the effect of rapid neurological atrophy. A Tylaxu specialty.
Tylaxu? Face dancers.
This is a dead Fremen girl, my lady. What if there are no women reported missing amongst the Fremen?
Othium's daughter, my lord. Dishna.
It's been many years since I've seen you.
And my father. I must beg Muad'Dib's forgiveness for this intrusion, but I'm the smoke who banishes sleep in the night.
Sit. Deliver your warning, then.
You must visit my father. As soon as possible, my lord. There is a plot against you.
There are many plots against me.
This is a Fremen plot, Majesty. My father has information for you. But he's weak. He's sick. He needs you to visit so he can tell you.
Why didn't he tell you so you could tell me?
He feared I might be captured before seeing you. If I know nothing, I can divulge nothing.
I leave for Othium's tonight.
Othium has missed his old friend.
A face dancer. Good one, too.
Let me take its water.
No, still. This must play out the way I've seen it.
Cursed be thy name, Atreides. Your time has finally come.
Korba, the stone burner is set and ready.
Let the others know of it. Muad'Dib is in the streets. Go.
So you come then.
We meet again, Muad'Dib.
answering the call of the Fedaykin. I carry your water burden, Othium. Command me.
Oh, I got the spitting disease in Tower Hill. The tribe will take my water soon.
Let me summon my doctors.
I have had doctors. As good as any Muad'Dib could provide.
There is treachery, Muad'Dib. I'm ashamed to say it. Fremen plot against you. They want time to stop. They want things the way they used to be. Bijaz has told me their names. He was a gift to me after our victories in Terra Hill.
I am a person, not a gift. Cheap to feed, but costly to fill. Empty me as you will, sire.
He always prattles on like that. He's a good spy, though. You should take him tonight. Our enemies will simply think I'm selling him to you because I need money.
To be gone is to be bygone. Let bygones be bygones. And BJ's and Muad'Dib must be gone by now.
He's right, Muad'Dib. It's not safe for you to be here.
These are troubled times, old friend.
No. It was better when we were alone in the desert. With only the Harkonnen as our enemies.
There's a thin line between enemy and friend. Where that line stops, there's no beginning and no end. Bygones be bygones, let them fall where they may. This has been a dirty day. Speaks of demons.
That is not the wind.
For sure.
What about Muad'Dib?
We are just entering the area now.
Take this one and get him to the keep immediately. Your eyes. Do it, Fedaykin. Do it now!
This way.
My lord. Your eyes.
My eyes are gone still.
Muad'Dib. My gods. Muad'Dib.
Calm still. They blinded my body. not my vision. There are men who need your help, Fedaykin! Here! And here!
The law, Muad'Dib.
We live by Atreides' law now still. None of these men are to be taken out into the desert. Anyone who wants is to be fitted with Tleilaxu eyes.
Without eyes yet to seize. He has sight without eyes.
It had to be.
Why? Why?
For our son.
How long have you known?
I've always known. It was just a matter of when. Forgive me, Janie. There was no way I could spare us this. I waited as long as I could. We will return to our desert, my love. To the siege, where our son will be born.
I'm afraid, Marty. I suddenly feel like we have so little time.
We have eternity.
You have eternity. I have only now.
So you are Bijaz.
Would I wear bijou and not be jazz? A jewel is prettier than a horse's ass.
You're a mockery, then. A trick of nature meant to confuse and annoy.
Annoy, yes. Confuse, no. Is wind a trick?
Then you're the wind.
No, I am words in the wind. Words that are names. Names that are death. He knows.
What does he mean?
What I mean is what I say, and what I say is what I mean. Time for accounting, unless you come just to mock at me.
My brother says you know the names of the traitors.
Poor Muad'Dib, poor Bijaz. Betrayed and betrayed together at last.
You will give me the names of those who would betray us.
Very well then, let's start with your priests.
He has another agenda.
How do you know?
I sense it.
Senses are dangerous. They can be fooled.
Only a machine functions without senses. Are you a machine, Gola?
I'm a mentat. I trust only logic and statistics.
Not mysticism and prophecy. My brother had a mentat teacher who talked like that.
Howard.
You remember?
You did that on purpose.
You remember?
No. I feel. There is a difference.
Is there? It frightens you, doesn't it? The memory. You're afraid you'll remember who you were.
No Gola has ever been restored to his former being, child.
I'm no child. I awakened to consciousness in my mother's womb. I have memories of many women alive inside of me. I know what they knew. I feel what they felt. But I can handle it. Can you?
Palace Verakin are everywhere. By the time Alia's through, a common pickpocket won't be safe.
Fools even had a stone burner and they couldn't succeed.
Our spies have no idea who was responsible. It could have been Fremen rebels from the deep desert. It could have been an element within the Kisrit itself. We may never know.
What about Saitair?
He maintains his masquerade.
And the dwarf?
Confined to the keep. No one knows where.
Then our plan is still in place.
He's alive. Gurney, tell me he's alive.
He is alive. But he's blind. It was a stone burner. Stilgar suspects Fremen.
Alia, Cheney,
All safe.
blind. Blind.
There are rumors that Paul can still see, despite his blindness. Vision sight. They say it's a miracle.
Another brick for the myth of Muad'Dib.
My lady?
Make arrangements with the Guild Ambassador for immediate transport to Arrakis.
I don't think that would be
It
wise.
was only a matter of time before this happened. Might not be long before it happens again.
And you would not want to encourage it. Ah, forgive me, my lady. But those who would rid themselves of Muad'Dib would only be more provoked by the arrival of his mother. If Paul needs you, he would surely send for you.
We go forward, we come back. We go forward,
We come back.
don't be afraid, Father. The answer's right in front of you.
The golden path.
But you must decide.
It's the only way.
What troubles you, my lord? The future. You're drunk on too much time.
I'm drunk on too much me. You know how many people have died since I became emperor?
Even your empire must live its time, and then die.
That's why you're here, isn't it?
Is that what you've seen? In your visions?
It's obvious to anyone who can see. It's what the Tylaxu have written upon you, to kill me. What is it still?
I have just received word from Seleucus Secundus. Shaddam is dead.
Very generous of Muad'Dib to permit his wife to attend the funeral of his mortal enemy.
And how grateful you must be for the safety my sacrifice assured our father. And you.
Not one major house represented, not one.
Muad'Dib would not allow any formal delegations, milady. As far as he was concerned, your father died the day he was defeated on Arrakis.
Father was the 81st Padishah Emperor, a colossus. I mean, who's this bastard Atreides but some Bedouin charlatan?
Do not underestimate the power of Muad'Dib's prescience, milady. Your father did, to his great misfortune.
My father was betrayed by you and your simpering spacing guild. And those witches of the Bene Gesserit. And for what? For spice. You abandon your emperor for spice.
We cannot guide our ships without it, milady.
And that is why you will help me kidnap a worm and bring it here.
I mean no disrespect, princess, but take a worm from Arrakis?
Even if the Idaho Gola succeeds, there is still the sister to contend with. We must be prepared with other means to diminish the Atreides' power.
You want to bring a worm here?
Seleucus Secundus might prove hospitable to the great worms of Arrakis. If they thrived, a new spice cycle could begin.
Atreides' monopoly would be broken.
Plans within plans.
If Muad'Dib ever suspected such a gambit, he would smash this planet and the Corino name into oblivion.
We're already in oblivion. Kidnap a worm from Arrakis.
The spice must flow.
The doctors say her metabolism has accelerated. Pregnancy is proceeding faster than normal.
dangerous birth.
I'm sorry. I distracted you.
If only you could distract me forever.
My body is confusing me, Muad'Dib. My life burns faster. I'm so hungry. Always hungry.
Make arrangements still. We leave for the Siege as soon as possible. The baby will be born there. Inform my sister.
Er brennt sie. How long have you been there?
Long enough.
Are you sick, my lady?
You don't know what it's like to hunt the future.
You've taken spice. Too much.
My brother needs me, Duncan. And my vision is incomplete. I need to remember. I need to remember the future.
I'm going to summon doctors.
No. Don't leave me. I just need to...
I can't move. What are you doing to me?
I ain't playing. You were made to be playing. Like opium. Poor fellow. We had a terrific struggle with you. The flesh did not want to come back.
You are Tylexu.
Born and bred. In the same tank. Just we two. First me, then you. Then you.
You were trying to bring out the violence in me.
Oh no. Not yet. The script is written. But the stage is not set. But one day soon, the Emperor will come to you. A mask of grief obscuring his face. A mask of grief. And he'll say she's gone. She is gone. And then you will finally know what you're expected to do. She is gone.
She is gone, Duncan.
Now it's time to forget what you remember when day becomes night. Forgetting is not having till the words are right.
What do you see with those eyes?
What everyone sees.
We're leaving for the Siege this morning.
time they left behind.
Appropriate, I'd say, considering what you've done.
I never meant to hurt Jane. Or you, I just...
I've given orders no harm is to come to you. No matter what happens.
Is she...
She's well. For the moment. Been cruel to you, Erilyn.
I don't want your pity.
I'm offering none. Simply telling you the truth. You were destined. Condition I understand only too well. Destined to be used.
By you?
By your father. By the Bene Gesserit, by the Spacing Guild. To protect them from me. And they'll get their wish. Well, not exactly as they'd like.
I don't understand.
The time of plots and revenge is coming to an end. You must have a chance to find peace. I'm going to give you that chance. It's ironic. But your selfish, clumsy attempts to mother an imperial heir actually prolonged Janie's life. And for that, I'm grateful. Forever.
Muad'Dib, is it truly necessary to bring the face dance and the dwarf?
They have their parts to play still. Just like you and me. Janie and I will take this one.
Muad'Dib?
I know the way better than anyone else still. Except perhaps you. You must remain here, as we agreed. Time to settle accounts.
What's the meaning of this?
You plotted against Muad'Dib, Korba. You conspired against your emperor. You're under arrest for treason.
I am a Fremen. I demand to be judged by Fremen law.
You will be, Korba. You will be.
I used to hunt these here when I was little. It's amazing, the simple pleasures one has as a child. But the desert is leaving now, taking simple pleasure with it. I wonder if my father would approve of the future he inspired.
A storm comes, my lady.
I am a desert creature, Gola. I know when to hide.
Paul said he would join you as soon as the Naib Council is concluded.
You called him Paul. He's Atreides' name.
I did. A memory intruded where none should have been.
Then there are more. And it frightens you. Duncan's memories. They scare you.
Are they Duncan's memories? Or the inventions of those who made me?
When the moment comes to decide, you will know.
My lady! Was the birth, my lord. They said her body was drained by the speed of it.
These are your children, Muad'Dib. Both are alive and strong.
Children? Twins, my lord. A boy and a girl.
never saw children.
Muad'Dib.
Beloved, forgive me. There are some things no one can bear. Problems in this universe for which there are no answers. For which nothing can be done, nothing. I am sorry.
Nothing in this universe is as great as my love for you.
I can't see. My lord? My lord! She's gone. She is gone, Duncan. She is gone, Duncan. She's gone.
And then you will finally know what you're expected to do. You're expected to do.
This was the moment you came back to me, Duncan.
Stay where you are, both of you. I warn you, a face dancer can move faster than you can possibly imagine.
So, it is truly you, Duncan Idaho of the Atreides. A Gola can regain his past. Tell me, what do you remember?
Tell him. Everything. My childhood, my youth, my death.
We did it, we did it. Majesty, don't you see what this means? You can have her back again. Your beloved Cheney. The proof is standing right in front of you. We can restore the flesh and the spirit. We can recreate her.
This was your plan all along.
Plots within plots, my lord. You should know this better than anyone. We've been trying for decades to achieve this. Make an alliance with us, Muad'Dib. The Telexu. Let us restore your beloved Cheney. Live content and safe for the rest of your life. With her, with your children, with her, with your children.
My lord, please don't listen to this blasphemy.
Don't move, Duncan Idaho. You kill me, and you're killing Muad'Dib's children. You can feel it, can't you, Muad'Dib? Can't you? You can hear her.
I'm afraid, Muad'Dib.
Calling your name.
Muad'Dib. Muad'Dib.
Father. Don't be afraid, Father.
I'm here, Father, as you knew I would be.
We go forward.
We go back.
Don't be afraid.
We're pre-born, my sister and I. Thanks to our mother and the spice. Thanks to you. Father, yes, it is me. We go forward, we go back. Father, we are pre-born, my sister and I. Thanks to you. My eyes. Let me see for you. I can do it. I can bring her back to you. Use my eyes, Father. Use my eyes, Father. Use my eyes. Let me see for you. Let me see for my eyes, Father. Use them. I can do it. I can bring her back. Let us give you back your love.
I meddled in the future. In all possible futures. Trying to create them. Instead, they created me. And I became trapped by it.
Yes, but knowing there's a trap is the first step in evading it. The first step along the golden path. Don't be afraid, Father. The answer is right in front of you.
Finally, I'm free.
History is written on the sands of Arrakis. Those who wished an end to House Atreides have failed. No longer an emperor, no longer a god. A simple blind Fremen wanders alone into the desert to die.
They say he has gone on a journey. Into the land where men walk without footprints. He will not be found. Yet all men will find him.
I wonder if that's what he wanted. I need you, Duncan. More than ever. Stay with me.
Muad'Dib is gone, but his children remain, and conspiracies continue to breed. The saga of Dune is far from over. History is written on the sands of Arrakis. Muad'Dib is gone, but his children remain. Almost grown and about to face the consequences of their father's legacy. A legacy fiercely guarded by their aunt, Alia. Even as she struggles with the ominous destiny of her own birthright.
son. The Golden Path is dangerous, son.
Later.
I was hoping to see a worm.
You know they never come close enough to see anymore. The water has driven them away.
Everything's changing, Ghani. Changing too fast.
You've had another vision, haven't you?
My skin wasn't my own. I was running across the desert just so fast. Just running and running. To Jakarutu. I saw him there again. Our father.
You sure it was him?
Yes. And he spoke of the Golden Path.
Frightens me. I'm afraid of what it could mean about us.
We're not like Anya, Ghani.
Are you sure? Will you tell our grandmother all this when we see her?
I don't know. What do you think?
Might be wise to understand her a bit better before we allow her to understand us. They've come for us.
Haven't they, Irulan?
I expect you both to be courteous and respectful. None of your sly comments. She's a Bene Gesserit and should not be keeping things from her.
Why should we keep anything from her?
Do we have anything worth keeping?
That's what I mean, Leto. Stilgar and I are almost at our limits with your wit.
Worm sign.
I didn't see anything. Perhaps a slightly higher altitude would be advisable, Leto.
So my father used to love being this close to the ground when he flew.
And you, of course, know this intuitively, don't you? Just like how you knew to fly without any training.
Don't forget your Bene Gesserit training, stepmother.
Fear is the mind killer.
I'm afraid she's about to let it pass through her.
Simply beautiful.
We've gone too far. Have we forgotten? Bless the Maker and his water. Bless his coming and his going. May his passing cleanse the world. May he keep the world for his people.
We like Kaifa.
That wasn't funny.
opened a bottomless pit. A swarm of locusts is flying up to arrest me. Why can't I see, Duncan? Why?
See what?
The future. My mission is incomplete. The future. It's there, Duncan. Just out of reach. Why am I always being pulled back?
Perhaps you should ask yourself, why is it necessary to see it?
Patronize me.
I don't patronize. I care. That's all.
Why is she coming, Duncan? Why now?
So that's it.
After all these years since she saw her grandchildren on Caliban.
And in 6 months, they will be of age.
Reason for me, Duncan. Be my mentor for a moment, not my husband. No Bene Gesserit acts without preordained plans, without well-planned deceit. And my mother, for all her renowned independence, is still a Bene Gesserit adept.
Clouds. Moisture in the air.
It seems almost a sacrilege.
You sound like a Fremen.
I haven't forgotten the years I spent among them. I haven't forgotten the honesty of their ways.
There are times I wish I'd never learned them. I hate this planet, Gurney. Took both the men I loved.
And it's still a place of great danger, my lady. Rumors of assassination plots are too numerous to ignore. Still, I sent word that even Fremen may be involved. There's a partisans who blame you for Paul's interference in the ecology of this planet.
I'm so weary of rumors.
They are the lifeblood of this empire, I'm afraid. Reason enough, this trip should have been delayed.
Tigers tracked the robes flawlessly. Our friend Palim Basha has done his job well. It appears your patience is about to be rewarded, milady.
Yes. I've waited many years, Tyak, for just the right moment to finish the Atreides. Patience has been my only nourishment.
Our allies on Arrakis continue to instigate civil unrest. Alia's hold on power is beginning to slip. And now, we have the means to deal with Muad'Dib's twins. I hope Milady is satisfied.
Oh, I won't be satisfied until every bastard Atreides is crushed beneath the jackboots of Karina Sardaukar.
Like the desperate pacing of giant cats in the zoos of ancient times.
I wouldn't know. I'm not the scholar you are, young prince.
Back and forth. Back and forth until they made themselves sick, just like this worm. Just like my mother, with her futile schemes to regain power for the House Carino.
Your mother is an ambitious woman, my prince.
Her ambitions tend to be undisturbed by reality, I'm afraid.
You don't share her desire to regain your grandfather's throne for yourself.
Only a fool covets power without appreciating its delicate uses, or fearing its inherent perils. The world of Shaddam IV remains only in the texts of crumbling history books. We hate the empire that defeated it, but we have no idea what we like in its place.
The kind of society we once had, I assume.
My mother may believe that's possible, Tayek, but I'm not so sure. I'm just not so sure.
I heard about your little stunt in the desert.
Well, I prefer to think of it as acrobat flying, but carry on.
With your encouragement, of course.
Our father's memories are very instructive.
Well, I suppose I should be grateful I don't have to tell your grandmother you were lost to a worm before she was supposed to see you.
That would have been an unpleasant task, wouldn't it?
Hey, it's rumored my mother has resumed her allegiance to the Bene Gesserit, and you both know what the sisterhood thinks of those of us who are pre-born.
And you want us to pretend to be something we're not?
I expect you to protect yourselves. No more talk of your father's memories or his spirit or his animus, do you understand me?
Surely one can distinguish between being pre-born
and being possessed.
For some, that's a distinction without a difference, and for us, that's dangerous.
But what if she's simply coming as mother, as grandmother, and not as Bene Gesserit Inquisitor?
You share her memories, Alia. Surely her motives can't be that complex.
If my mother wasn't that complex, neither of you would be here. She would never have betrayed her training. She never would have had a son. I would have been her firstborn. Not your father. And none of this would have happened. I warn you, enemies often appear as angels. I hope you two can tell the difference.
You're going to lose her.
And we already have.
You're nervous, aren't you?
Why should I be?
You haven't seen her for many years.
Your grandmother and I had an unsettled relationship.
But you wanted her affection, didn't you?
Affection wasn't possible under the circumstances. But I am due some respect after all this time.
When you first came here, many years ago, Muad'Dib told me his father said, "Beauty has finally arrived to hold back the wilderness." In his honor, may I borrow your Duke's words today?
Good friend.
Imperial Regent, my lady.
It's been so long.
course you recognize your grandchildren. Even after all this time.
I hope we can find time to shed formality and get to know each other again.
The mother of Muad'Dib has returned to us.
You must offer them your blessing, Grandmother.
I say the hypocrisy of ritual still thrives.
Sometimes it is necessary to accommodate ritual.
In order to survive it.
Lak al-Mithra Muad'Dib Esa Laklan Musta al-Pregia de El Trial Ama.
Mother! Reverend Mother! I bring you a warning. The blessings of Muad'Dib have been corrupted. The religion of Muad'Dib is not Muad'Dib. He renounces it as he renounces you. All of you! Muad'Dib is dead! And sand will cover this place. Sand will cover you.
It's impossible to guard against every madman willing to suicide himself. We tried to limit Alia's public appearance.
We sure she was the target?
These times, anyone in the royal family could be vulnerable.
I seem to recall times not long ago that were not so different.
And we survived them.
As we will survive them again.
I heard the voices in the crowd calling out Muad'Dib.
We don't know where he's from or what his motives are.
They say he calls himself the preacher.
People think he's bald. Don't they still, this preacher?
Some do. Some need to.
What do you think?
This kind of blown in from the desert every day. Messianic vagabonds.
And Alia's priest tolerates such heresy?
The priest would like to flay him alive for the heresy he spews, but she won't allow it. Oh, she says he's harmless.
It's because she thinks it might be true, isn't it?
Well, we hope you'll be comfortable. Please do let us know if you need anything.
Paul's gone, my lady. He walked into the desert. Blind. Alone.
Shai Hulud came for him. He is gone. I want to supervise the interrogation of those we found on the street.
I'd like Gurney to go with you, if that's agreeable.
It would be my honor, Stilgar.
And my pleasure.
This was their room.
Alia kept it exactly as they did.
We used to play here when we were little.
It made us feel close to them. For a moment, you almost imagined that's who we were.
Didn't you? You almost let yourself believe that we were father and mother.
It was not an unpleasant moment. I've missed so much.
You've never been far from us, grandmother.
Your presence is always strong within us both.
I thought we agreed to let her rest first.
Seeing my grandchildren is all the rest I need.
And there will be time enough for our reunion, grandmother.
Now is the time for you and your daughter.
They're complicated.
Yes. What did you expect? They're Paul's children.
He would be proud. You've done well. You look wonderful.
I try my best. My people expect it.
The greening of the desert's proceeding faster than I ever imagined.
Paul used to say the only permanence is change.
I wasn't prepared for how much the desert's retreating.
Only the great mother wilderness of the south remains untouched. We still meet with some resistance.
As I've noticed.
Some of the older naives have withdrawn from our council and taken their tribes to the far regions. We're better off without them.
Though some remain to attack you directly.
We know how to deal with our enemies.
It must be so hard. The responsibility. The loneliness.
What can you know of loneliness?
I've had my share.
Is that why you're here then? 'Cause you're lonely.
I came to see my grandchildren. To see you.
Don't try to conceal anything from me, Mother. I can read truth in the slightest tick of human behavior. This was your gift to me, remember? It's in my blood before I was even born, thanks to you.
Alia,
Don't interrupt me. I am the regent of this empire. I rule in Paul's name for his children. I am the supreme authority here. You abandoned me? To fend for myself after Paul died. I was only 15, Mother.
You had Stilgar. You had Duncan. You had the Council of Knives. No one could challenge you. You knew how I felt about this place.
And yet here you are. After all these years to judge me. Just like that wicked Bene Gesserit bitch who taught you we were right to kill her.
Abomination.
Abomination. That's what you called me.
Alia, I can't undo the past.
But I can influence the future. Paul taught me that well enough. That's what you're afraid of, isn't it? You're afraid I have Paul's vision. His power.
No, my darling. I'm afraid that you will get lost trying to achieve it.
I hate you. I love you. I will never forgive you.
Idolaters! You fool yourselves with images of things you cannot possibly understand. You cripple yourselves with these toads of ritual and ceremony. They give you only fear. And in return, you give them obedience. But I give you a warning. Those who accept self-deception shall perish by that self-deception. And those who pray for dew at the desert's edge shall bring forth the deluge.
Milady, don't torture yourself. He's mad. He's a mere thunderclap in the night, startling for a moment, then gone.
Then if I asked you to kill him, would you?
I wouldn't hesitate. But I would advise against it.
Ali.
There's no time to move against the preacher.
Listen to him, darling.
Let him gain some cards.
She's so handsome, isn't he?
Let our enemies rally. Man has flaws. That's why I think we used to disgrace him.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Better he is disgraced than martyred.
You're always good medicine for my distress, Charlene.
Whatever the cause of that distress, my lady.
Reverend Mother. They told me I might find you here.
I was afraid it might be gone.
Paul, Muad'Dib would never have permitted that. He said your promise to the old housekeeper Mapes would never be broken.
It seems a little silly now, though, doesn't it? Considering the changes that are everywhere.
People don't come to visit like they used to, but still, it remains a symbol.
Symbolism is everywhere these days, just like these weeds. I'm truly happy to see you, Irulan. Your devotion to my grandchildren's been a comfort to me.
They are the source of my happiness.
And your occasional exasperation, I hear.
They are strong-willed.
As I would have expected, considering.
And what else did you expect, Reverend Mother? Considering. I was a Bene Gesserit, trained just as you were. I know the sisterhood has never lost interest in the children's bloodlines. Although they would never confide as much to a defector like me.
Isn't it ironic, Irulan? We're both Bene Gesserits. We've deserted our sisterhood for the same reason. Love. Love of men who are now dead.
I did love your son, Jessica. And I would have made him a good wife. Instead, I have satisfied myself being a good teacher to his children and friend. Nothing. Nothing will harm them as long as I can prevent it. Do you understand?
I don't know. Perhaps it would be better if I never became emperor. I'm being selfish, I know. But I think it's necessary for me and Gunnerman to have the freedom to learn to live with what we are.
And what are you later? That you need this time to find out about yourself.
Why don't you tell me? It's why you're here, isn't it?
You remind me of your father.
And my grandfather? My namesake. Your beloved Duke. Such an admission would be complicated, wouldn't it? We may have to enter a realm of intimacies that would make us both uncomfortable.
In a way, I find it reassuring that he lives on in you.
How little you understand how he lives on in me.
Is that what you're struggling with?
Yes. To know the future is to be trapped by it, Grandmother. My father knew it, but he couldn't escape it. I want more freedom than that. A universe of surprises, that is what I pray for.
Is such a universe possible for someone like you?
Possible? Well, yes. But is it desirable? I have a difficult decision to make, Grandmother. Do I accept the Atreides mystique? Dress myself in our myths? Live for my subjects and die for them? Or do I choose another path? A golden path? One that may change me, change human destiny forever.
I don't understand.
No, I know you don't. Because you do not understand time.
I can help you later.
Oh, on the contrary, Grandmother. It is I who will help you.
We must work together.
We?
Otherwise, we're vulnerable.
To what?
Oh, stop being coy.
You want to know how coy he is? Try playing this game with him.
This is not a game. Powerful forces are conspiring against us. Fremen rebels hate the way we are changing their planet. The damn Space Guild can't tolerate our monopoly on spice.
They have no choice but to accept it, Alia.
And now she is here. I want to know what she wants.
No, Alia, what you want is for us to engage in the spice trance.
Don't turn your backs on your heritage. Your father was the greatest man in history. He gave you such wonderful talents. They could be put to such great use. Why won't you use them?
You want us to see things you cannot.
I need you to help me see. To see the future.
Other lives hover in the enigma of our consciousness, Alia. Consciousness. Shared lives. It's the curse of all preborn.
They are the real danger. Not the rebels, not the guild, not our grandmother. You should understand that better than most.
One day, each of you will come face to face with the horror of your own existence. One day you will cry out for help. One day, each of you will find yourself alone.
she's right.
Check.
Get out! Leave her to me! So, granddaughter, you finally meet the spiritual Gom Jabbar.
We've learned much these past few days.
It was meant to look like rebel Fremen. Tribes harboring resentment towards the Atreides and changes to Arrakis.
But I don't believe it.
Why?
During interrogation, the ones we captured cried out the name Jakarutu, and then died.
You tortured them?
Post-hypnotic suicide compulsion, my lady. The sound of the word alone simply stopped their hearts.
Leto and I heard rumors of Jakarutu siege when we first came here. We could never find out whether the place actually existed.
The name Jakarutu is a synonym for evil, Jessica. The Adwali tribe came from there. They were water stealers. The most heinous criminals under Fremen law. The first and greatest sin. Other Fremen tribes banded together to declare war on the Jakarutu. The Adwali were slaughtered. Their water spread upon the sands. Jakarutu siege was declared taboo. No Fremen was allowed to look for it. But legend persists that not all the Adwali were wiped out, but some escaped to become known as the cast out.
And you believe that these cast out might be responsible for what happened the other day?
Possibility makes my blood run cold.
If the cast out exist, they would camouflage themselves as something else.
We would not permit them to live if we knew.
Gurney, contact your old smuggler allies. The ones in the deep desert, see what they know about Jakarutu. And the cast out. If such a people still exist, they could be our greatest threat.
I had full consciousness long before birth. The knowledge of all the lives that came before. The genetic rivers flowing in my veins. Reverend mothers. The Atreides. My entire heritage. Alive. In me. Ever present. I had no defense against their invasion of my mind.
And so you are stalked by fear.
Fear. Always fear. The judgment. The preborn are possessed. The abomination.
Energetic rubbish. If you succumb to the fear, it will defeat you.
The trial of abomination ends in death.
But we won't let that happen, will we?
You're dead. I killed you.
Yes, you clever little minx. You killed me, and yet here I am.
Just go away.
Oh, but you need help, granddaughter. The others in here, they want your entire consciousness. They want to drive you out, but I only want a tiny little corner for myself. An occasional moment with your senses. An occasional taste.
An occasional touch. Oh, no one need ever know.
No. You murdered my father. You tried to destroy my family. You would have killed Paul.
Oh, yes, yes, all that. Yes, of course I would have killed you. I mean, you and your brother stood in my way, but that's old business. You won. I am dead. Thanks to you, my darling, I have only a fragile existence, a mere memory self within you. You are alive, and I am yours to command. And how little I ask in return.
Mine. To command.
Oh, yes. Yours. Yours, my precious girl. Think of what we can accomplish together. Your power and my experience. There will be nothing standing in our way.
The voices in my head
Will be silenced.
My enemies.
Will be destroyed. No one will stand in the way of our powers. From this moment on, the future is ours.
It comes. Just like you summoned it.
No, it summoned me still.
And may I ask why? We risked a sand crossing at night without bodyguards.
Come still. How often do you ride the sands anymore? When you want, where you want. Calling a worm instead of riding with a flock of thopters. How often do you arm the thumper and just go? Like the Fremen you used to be?
Used to be.
Hmm? You know, in many corners of the universe, this delicate thing is considered a wondrous beauty. But here it's a symbol. A symbol of the corruption infecting Arrakis. It wouldn't exist but for the changes we're enforcing on this place.
Changes inspired by your father.
Now, that's the official Stilgar speaking, the government Stilgar. The Fremen Stilgar is still repulsed at this alien life, isn't he? I have a serious problem still.
So I've gathered.
The problem with me is the problem with this place. My father, he left so many things undone.
I don't understand.
A good ruler doesn't need to be a prophet still, not even godlike. A good ruler has to be sensitive to the ones he rules.
Mm-hmm. The ancient meaning of the Fremen word Nahib is servant of the siege.
When the owner dies, the crysknife dissolves, yes?
It is our legend.
Muad'Dib has dissolved, but his crysknife has not. Still, a new path must be taken. One that may require me to demystify my own father. To destroy his legacy.
These are not sentiments I'd share with your aunt or her priests, young lord.
Beware, Alia, still. She's no longer your friend. And still, you must promise to protect Garnama. If anything should happen to me, anything, my sister will be your only hope.
You were in the desert.
Sire, couldn't sleep.
I could have kept you company.
You were sleeping. Didn't want to disturb you.
You used to. All the time. We'd sneak out of the siege together. No one ever knew. Sometimes we wouldn't be back till dawn.
I had to talk to Stilgar.
Oh, I see.
Gunnar, we may have to face some of what's coming apart.
It doesn't mean you have to face it alone.
The Atreides man, named Gurney Halleck, is being sent to the desert to ask questions. Sooner or later, he will encounter someone who can be bought.
Then we must make sure he buys the right answers.
What shall I do with the blind fool, Father?
He can still be useful. Take him into the desert until we need his sermons again. Out of chaos comes civil war. Fremen and the Atreides destroying each other.
The water of our enemies will feed our revenge.
Our suffering will be repaid 1,000-fold. Jagarutu. Jagarutu.
I should never have left here. It was a cowardly thing to do.
You lost so much here. I know it, Leto knows it. Even Alia must know it, in a way. It helps, doesn't it? The litany against fear. You were thinking it, weren't you? Fear is the mind killer.
Garni, I've decided I want you to know my fear. Fear I've kept hidden too long. A fear for those who are pre-born. Just before we came to Arrakis the first time, I brought a Reverend Mother to meet your father. He was just a boy.
I remember. I've been told.
The Reverend Mother brought a nerve induction box. Tested Paul with it. I was forbidden to interfere. He might have died.
But he survived.
Of course, you remember this in a way that I cannot.
And that's what your fear is. The memories I've inherited, the possibility of possession, the possibility of abomination.
Not you. I'm sure of that now.
But you're not sure about Leto.
Is he strong enough, Garni? Leto. Can he survive what's coming?
What is it that's coming?
The Sakhanabwai.
The Golden Path.
Leto used those words when he and I were together.
He has visions of a pilgrimage deep into the desert. Journey to a faraway place where he sees our father and speaks to him of how things must change.
Change? How?
He can't tell me. I think he's holding things back from me. But I know this, it's not possession. And it is not abomination. And when it is my brother's turn to be tested, he too will survive. our father did.
The man has arrived to take you deeper into the desert. He says he will help you find what you're looking for. So now it is decided. We're going to the desert.
So you're the Atreides man, Gurney Halleck.
I don't like it. Why would the Carino family send gifts to Muad'Dib's children?
An attempt to curry favor with the future emperor and his sister.
You don't believe that any more than I do, Duncan. Nothing is ever as it seems with my sister. Even an innocent gift of clothing can be dangerous. But how? I want these examined thoroughly. And a report back to me before they're given to the children. Is that understood? I can feel your suspicion, Duncan. You're wondering if there's something more complex in my motives, aren't you?
The history of what brought a Carino princess into House Atreides is not easily forgotten.
Plans within plans, is that it, Mentor? Do you doubt my allegiance to this family?
Allegiances once changed can change again.
Our sources in the palace assure me the robes were delivered. The catalyst is well hidden. Little precious Irulan will never find them.
Well done.
Alia's paranoia is growing stronger day by day. She sees enemies everywhere. And her only solution? More and more repression.
Exactly as we want. The more terror we sow, the more fear and confusion we harvest. And the more severely Alia responds, well, the more Fremen she drives into the south. And the sooner they will openly rebel. And then with the twins out of the way, well, Alia will be more vulnerable than ever. But we mustn't let Farad'n know about our plans until they're done. He doesn't have the stomach for it.
How dare you? These robes are gifts from Prince Farad'n, a gesture of goodwill, an opportunity to ease tension between the houses. Javid arranged for this himself.
With the Regent's approval, of course.
I had to satisfy myself.
Satisfy yourself.
That there was no subterfuge, no danger.
You insinuated yourself into a diplomatic matter that's none of your business.
The safety of the twins is every bit my business.
You bloodless bitch.
Alia.
How is it that I'm blessed with such an extraordinary counselor as you, Irulan? What devious finger of fate turned you from a Carino toad into a simpering Atreides sycophant?
That's enough!
No, it's not nearly enough. From now on, my niece and nephew are no longer under your care.
You can't do that.
I'm the regent of the Empire. I'm their guardian. I rule in their name.
That's right. And don't let them forget it.
Perhaps you should rest.
How can I rest, Mother, when I'm surrounded by such incompetent fools? Do you see what's become of my world, Mother? Do you see the chaos I must endure?
Yes, I see it. I'm afraid I see it all too clearly.
Get rid of them.
Get out. All of you, out!
Still the same arrogant, Bene Gesserit cow.
You must forgive my daughter, Irulan. She let temper get in the way of judgment this afternoon. I'm sure she let her words run away with her.
Do not concern yourself with me, Reverend Mother.
I remember what it's like to be in her position. I remember how lonely it can be sometimes.
I understand.
At the same time, you're never alone. There are always people around, people who need you.
Yes, life in a court can sometimes be suffocating. Easy to lose your perspective.
I'm glad that we can be honest with each other. I feel that I can trust you.
Completely. My only concern is for the health and safety of your grandchildren.
You must take care of your own well-being, too.
Thank you for your concern for me, Reverend Mother.
You're very important to me.
I will let Alia know that I bear no ill feelings because of her harsh words.
You're very understanding.
There they are. Those two. Did you see them?
We have a shuttle waiting.
Later. Come. Hurry.
Anybody who had a hand in helping the twins get out of the city must be arrested and brought to me. I will make an example of all who defy me. Get out! This is my mother's doing. I want her dead. No.
No, my dear. Not just yet. Patience, my dear. Patience and calm. That is a palliative for fury and despair.
Everyone is turning against me.
Oh, don't worry, child. There are many clever ways to rid oneself of a troublesome witch.
Oh, your efforts to the contrary, I suppose.
Though unfortunately, my efforts were, shall we say, interrupted by a wonderfully devious and cruel little girl. You took great pleasure in the act, as I recall. I had to admire your ruthlessness, had you only been a few years older.
Why am I even listening to you, you perverted old fool?
Because I am here to help you, because I am the only one you can trust. What you must do is take care of your mother in public. Why don't you call in that lovely boy? The priest, Jadide. Mixed business with pleasure, perhaps, huh?
You were right, Maurice. Her paranoia deepens with each passing hour. He's ordered immediate retaliation.
Good. The more the repression, the greater the rebellion. The greater the rebellion, the sooner our enemies slaughter each other. Get word to that Corina witch. Tell her we continue to work our mischief.
No, she's not of counsel any longer. I have asked Lady Jessica, adored Mother of Muad'Dib, to join us for the ritual of supplication.
We bring before the Holy Family a Kadeshian troubadour, a miserable wanderer who has lost everything but the clothes on his back, and now must beg the court for...
Mercy, Holy Mother! I'm Gadian Al-Fali, Naib of Siege Garakulan.
My ladies, do not listen to this man. His appeal is not approved.
I'm here concerning a matter of the desert.
A matter of the desert is a concern of great magnitude, Vidaikin.
But Reverend Mother...
Yes, milady. I am Vidaikin, once offering his life at the side of Muad'Dib.
This is not the proper forum for...
We will hear this matter of the desert.
We have abandoned our friend the desert, Holy Mother. Shai Hulud no longer roams the sands. He cannot be found except in the empty quarters far from our people.
The superstitious of the inner desert have always feared the transformation of our land.
A land where nothing grew. Now there are plants. They spread like maggots upon the wound. There are clouds in the sky. And rain. Precious Mother of Muad'Dib, rain from the sky of Dune. It is a death to us all.
We only do what Lien and Muad'Dib intended us to do. Would you challenge their holy words?
And what of the worms, then?
There'll always be some desert, some worms.
As go the worms, so goes the spice. And if the spice does not flow, what coin do we have to buy our way?
Silence! These are matters of state, and you will not challenge the wisdom of this government to do what it decides is best. The rabble of the desert must be made to comply with our judgment. It is we who rule here, not the mob of the sands.
No! Onsar ahaka seliman. Au maslumen. There are those of you who fear that I've returned to Arrakis as Bene Gesserit. That I have abandoned my loyalty to the Atreides' partnership with the desert. But since the day the Fremen gave life to me and to my son, I have always been Fremen. And I will always be Fremen.
Be quiet!
We cannot abandon the desert. My daughter is lying. The worms will not survive if the desert shrinks. She knows this. Spice production will slow until it is only a fraction of what it has been. And when that happens,
we'll have a corner on the scarcest commodity in the universe.
You will have a corner in hell! Vidaikin, you have been scorched. Know how to stand back to back.
I have men here, milady.
Religion and politics ride in the same cart. The whirlwind follows.
The Golden Path. It's up to you now. A desert storm that can't be stopped. A whirlwind.
Peter.
The Golden Path is dangerous. A path I could take.
Later. Later.
having another vision, weren't you?
Events are moving faster than we anticipated, Gunny. We have to go now.
To Jakaruta's?
The answer's there. I know it. We can't turn back. We have to finish this. Muad'Dib, the god, must be destroyed. We must find the golden path.
It's a dangerous path.
It's the only way out of the trap. He saw it at the end. Father's last vision. He knew it was possible. Don't you see, that's why he left. He left it to us.
You're not telling me everything, are you? There are things you've seen that you keep from me. I can tell.
Only things that I don't even understand. Yet. But I have faith, Gunny. Faith that no matter what happens, when the time comes, we will both know what to do.
Are you sure we can make it?
I'm sure that if we don't try, we'll have failed.
I'm afraid.
Fear is the mind killer.
I will face my fear.
I will let it pass through me.
Ready for tonight.
Have you seen that one?
One who's gone over to our enemies.
Without doubt. Palim Basha.
I saw him in the bazaar at Arakin with the tigers. No doubt he has his part to play. You ready?
I find it ironic that we're using gifts from our enemies as means of escape. But you're enjoying the charade anyway, aren't you?
You know me too well.
Yeah, too well, which is why you must promise me we'll only be as reckless as necessary.
Only as necessary.
It won't be long before the alarm goes out.
There. The way to Jakarutu. They'll never think we've gone in that direction.
We can rest here until arrangements are made to get you out of the city.
Unless something is done, civil war is inevitable. We must get a message to Stilgar. He must call for a council of knives. We must bring a trial of possession against Ali.
You know what that will mean, Reverend Mother. She is your daughter.
I know what it means.
An official warrant for the arrest of Fedaykin al-Fali and his confederates from Siege Garak Lan. Posted in every city, send word to every siege. The conspiracy to murder the Imperial Regent and kidnap the mother of Muad'Dib must be crushed without mercy. Are you looking at me or analyzing me, Duncan?
I'm gathering data.
must find her, Duncan. You must find her and return her to me. Surely your data must point to the danger I'm in. We are in.
Perhaps your lover will be a better comfort to you than I.
I've made so many mistakes, Duncan. So many mistakes. Because I've been afraid. I'm ashamed of my weakness. Please try and forgive me. I lost my temper in there, Duncan. I know it was a mistake, but I can fix it. It was an accident of fatigue, nothing else. I can make everyone understand. Everyone except her. You have to deal with her.
She is your mother.
She is Bene Gesserit, no matter what she said in there. And those damnable acts would like nothing more than put me to the test. Please, Duncan. Please. You're the only one I can trust. The only one who loves me enough. You must eliminate her.
No harm must come to House Atreides. No matter what the cost.
You handled that well.
Shut up.
As you wish, my lady.
We found their clothing near the bakery, Stilgar. We're certain they're no longer in the siege.
They must be wearing those robes they brought from Arrakeen.
But our search parties can't find a single trace of them in the desert.
They won't. Not unless the children want them to.
They do not appreciate my presence here.
These are Puritans, Reverend Mother. What they do not like is what's become of their revolution.
Then I must convince them that neither do I.
A messenger has arrived under immunity of Stilgar. It is urgent.
You have a message from Siege Tabar. Baliho!
Your grandchildren are missing. I'm to bring you to Siege Tabar as soon as possible.
You can't go with him, Holy Mother. He's a Ghula.
He was my Duke's most trusted warrior. He died once, saving Muad'Dib's life. And mine.
But he is Alia's husband.
He is still Atreides. It is my daughter who is not.
We don't have much time.
What about these Fedaykin who have helped me?
Alia has issued a warrant against them. Crimes against the Imperium.
Of course she has.
Stilgar has offered sanctuary. If they can make it to Tabar.
Then that is what you will do. When the Imperial agents find this place, there must be nothing left but the wind howling through the rocks.
As the Holy Mother commands.
Yahaya, Shohada.
May Shai Hulud clear the path before you.
Is it true about my grandchildren, Duncan?
You would not have come if you didn't believe it, my lady.
Alia.
No. Stilgar suspects they may have seen this crisis coming. He fears they've gone into the desert.
I made many mistakes with my daughter, Duncan.
There have been many mistakes, my lady. And I repeated most of them.
She will not survive the trial of abomination.
No.
is not the course for the siege to bar, is it?
No, my lady, it is not.
You're going to tell me where you're taking me?
Somewhere even Alia won't think to look for us.
I don't think they saw us.
I don't think they were looking for us.
We don't have much time.
Make those rocks before sunset. Search parties will be certain to come out this far now.
That's not a worm.
But an animal.
More than one.
It's closer now.
Much closer. There's a cave up there.
Run.